Hey, this is Jared, and this is my top 10 completed manga. Or, wait, no, ongoing manga, sorry. These are manga that still release new chapters and are, continuous. But I also have a top 10 completed manga, another video, so you should check that one out as well. And let's just begin with number 10, which is Vagabond. Vagabond just barely makes it onto number 10, and that's because the mangaka has not released a new chapter in forever, and he has said that he doesn't have much interest in continuing it. So, because of that, I don't know, it's just barely holding on. Right now at 11 is a tie between Vinland Saga and Noragami Stray God, and those might take this one's place pretty soon. But that being said, even if this manga does never get finished, I still highly recommend it just because of just how damn good the story is and how beautiful the artwork is. Seriously, it's like the best looking artwork I've ever seen in a manga. Uh, it's just basically about a samurai in feudal Japan and just the story of how he becomes the most famous samurai of all time, which is Musashi, which I'm sure you might have heard of if you know anything about samurai. But yeah, let me show if there's any great artwork I can show you here. Uh, I don't know, like that page. Um, yeah, it's just really phenomenal artwork and very interesting story just about the life of this guy. And I really hope that the mangaka goes back and finishes it someday. But if not, it's still a great manga, and I'll continue to hold on to it and enjoy it. All right, number 9 is One Punch Man, which, yeah, I think the second season actually comes out pretty soon. But right now, there's two big superhero mangas, and that's One Punch Man and My Hero Academia, which My Hero is definitely more popular, and while I do love that series, I just love this one more. I love the characters, and I love the powers in this one. And personally, I think the only reason why Hero Academia is more popular right now is just because that series has an anime season that comes out, fairly regularly. I think the fourth season is already being made. But with this, after the first season, there's just been no buzz about it, and which sucks because personally, I think the manga actually gets way better after where the anime ends because it focuses a lot more on the other heroes. And while I love Saitama, let's be honest, the manga would get boring after a while if he just shows up and one punches everything. So, yeah, the other heroes are really interesting, and I love the other villains that get introduced. And I love the artwork. The artwork is really damn amazing. You should definitely check it out. A lot of people praised the first season anime for its beautiful animation, but as great as that animation was, it still wasn't as amazing as the artwork in the manga. Which, yeah, so definitely check out One Punch Man. If you only watch the anime, I still recommend just reading the manga. Um, yeah, definitely check that out. Next, at number 8, we have Golden Kamui, which is one that I've only just recently started reading, just a couple months ago, and it's already number 8. I'm loving it so much. It takes place in the 20th century, the early 20th century, and it's about an ex-soldier named Sugimoto, and he hears the story about this treasure, this gold that is stockpiled, and these group of criminals kind of steal the gold and hide it, and then get arrested. And then this guy in jail, he basically tattoos a map of where the treasure is on other prisoners. And then during a jailbreak, they all get free. And Sugimoto finds out that the drunk old man who's telling him the story is actually one of those guys. So he decides to go on a mission and find these other prisoners, get their tattoos of the map and just find this gold. And with them is a girl, Ainu girl, who, if you don't know what Ainus are, they're, I guess they're kind of like Japan's version of Native Americans. I mean, very different history, but like, I don't know. Just think of them kind of like that. But basically, she decides to help him find the gold because her father was one of the people that collected the gold and then was murdered, and the gold was stolen. So now she just wants to go with him for revenge. So the two of them just go around Japan trying to find these criminals and get the maps, and it's really damn good. And they're being chased by other criminals that also want the gold, and as well as the military who want the gold for themselves, and just all sorts of different factions. And yeah, it's really cool, and I'm really enjoying it. Right now they've released about 8 volumes in English, and yeah, just definitely go pick this one up. Alright, number 7 we have Food Wars, or Shokugeki no Soma, as some people know it. And this is basically like Iron Chef, the manga. Basically, this kid goes into a high school, this culinary high school. It's like the best in the world. And yeah, he just competes with other students in cooking. And if you have any interest in cooking shows, I definitely recommend this because it's a lot of fun. I love watching the different characters cook and, you know, learn about their specialties in cooking. And the manga includes the recipes for the stuff they cook, which is really cool. It's a lot of fun. If you love any sort of cooking competition show, definitely check out Food Wars. And if you're someone who doesn't really watch any cooking shows, I still recommend getting this. It's just a lot of fun. Alright, at number 6, we have No Matter How I Look at It, It's You Guys' Fault I'm Not Popular, which is a mouthful of a name. In Japanese, the name is also very long, but it's condensed down to Watsa Motei, which most people know it as. And I can't believe for the English release they didn't just call it Watsa Motei, because seriously, who's going to look up this name? Everyone knows it as Watsa Motei. And it's a slice of life, and normally I'm not a big fan of slice of life, but this is one of the few that I actually do enjoy a lot. It's about a girl named Tomoko who is very socially awkward. She has severe social anxiety, has trouble talking to people and making friends. And the manga is just about her everyday life, trying to come out of her shell and get to know people. But it always kind of fails and ends up in awkward situations, which at first sounds kind of sad, and it would be depressing, but Tomoko's kind of an ass, which makes you not feel too bad for her. I mean, she's not so bad where she's unlikable, but she's still kind of a jerk enough to where you don't just feel so sorry for her. But yeah, it's just about her high school life. It starts off with her entering high school, and at first it feels like this manga wouldn't be on my top 10 if it just continuously stayed the same, where she just keeps on getting into awkward situations and the manga only focuses on her. She's really the only character in the manga at first, besides like her brother and her old friend from junior high. But around volume 8 they start introducing other characters and get their point of views, and luckily Tomoko starts actually developing and getting more, you know, sociable, which is nice because, you know, it would get stale if it just stayed the same the whole time. So yeah, really interesting manga. I don't know, I love the characters, I love the humor, I think it's really funny. And I don't know, if you're a fan of slice of life, you should definitely check this one out. Or if you don't like slice of life because they're all the same to you, well, check this one out because it's kind of different. So yeah, Watsa Motei. Alright, let's see. Number 5 would be Black Lagoon, and Black Lagoon is the closest thing to a Hollywood action movie for a manga. It doesn't have the deepest lore or story, but what makes it really interesting are the characters and the crazy action adventures that they go on. It's basically about a group of mercenaries on a boat called the Black Lagoon, and it's a small team, and they basically just get hired to do like illegal, shady stuff, and it's a lot of fun and really cool. The manga was on hiatus for a while. It had about 9 volumes, and then for a few years, nothing else. But the recent years, the mangaka has come back and started releasing new chapters like once a month. So now there's enough material for a volume 10 and 11, which volume 10 has come out. But now recently, the mangaka only releases like 2 or 3 chapters a year, which it really sucks. But I still really love Black Lagoon. I love the characters. Revi here is one of my favorite manga characters of all time. I think she's really awesome. And I'm really surprised that there isn't a Hollywood live action movie of this, because, most people say that anime just can't be made into a live action movie, but this is one of the few where I really think they could. Basically because the premise is very Hollywood. The characters are very diverse. There's a white guy, a Japanese guy, a black guy. Revi here is like half Chinese and half American, I think. So yeah, it would be perfect for a live action adaptation. I can't believe there isn't one. It really deserves it, in my opinion. But yeah, it's really cool, a lot of fun, great action. Definitely check out Black Lagoon. Alright, at number 4, we have another slice of life, which is Yotsuba. And Yotsuba is, like I said, I'm not that big a fan of slice of life, but there's something about this one that just hooked me, and after I read the first volume, I just had to pick up the rest. It's basically about a little girl who's about like 4 or 5, and it's just her everyday life, which sounds like it would be very boring, but I don't know, there's just something about it where you just see her experience new everyday life things that we take for granted and we wouldn't really care about, but to her it's amazing. And she's so upbeat and likable. Like, that's the real drawing, is that all these characters are so likable and so fun that you love seeing them do mundane things. And this is a manga where there's no long-term story, so the mangaka could write the final chapter next week or continue writing it forever. There's really no end point. And so far the mangaka has been releasing new chapters very infrequently. Like, it seems like he just releases a new chapter when he feels like it. So new volumes don't come out too often, maybe like 1 volume a year, I would say. Yeah, I don't know, I just really enjoy it a lot. I think it's the best slice of life manga out there and should definitely be checked out by everybody. Very lighthearted fun. It's for all ages. Little kids can enjoy this. Adults can enjoy this. Just definitely check this out. At number 3, we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. JoJo's, I think everyone can say that it's a manga that once you are introduced to it, you will either be hooked and love it to death, or you'll think it's really weird and just not your cup of tea. And luckily for me, I loved it and became obsessed with it. Just really good. Very out there. Definitely deserves the name of Bizarre Adventure. It's kind of hard to talk about what it's about because the manga is actually separated into parts. Every few volumes it starts a new part. And right now there's 8 parts, and each part is very unique and different with a whole new story and, like new characters, and unique enough to where everyone has a different ranking of the parts. Like, it's not like Star Wars where it's like, oh, which trilogy is the best? Like, most people will say, well, obviously the original trilogy. But with JoJo, it's just like everyone has a different opinion of part rankings. Like, some people will say like, oh, part 5 or part 3 is my favorite, and then other people will be like, oh, those are actually my least favorite. But it's just about a family called the Joestars, and the main character, usually his name or her name starts with J-O as well, so the nickname is JoJo. And it's just about different JoJos through different points in time, and like just the adventures they go on. And sometimes the adventures are connected to past ones, sometimes they're not. But each part has its own kind of genre feel to it. Like the first part, Phantom Blood, is kind of a horror, European horror kind of part, and then the second part is kind of like Indiana Jones. The fourth part is kind of like a slice of life. They're all very different, and they're just a lot of fun. And when I read the first part, the first part is my least favorite part. So when I first read it, I was just like, this was okay. But then I read part two and I loved it a lot more. And then part three, I loved it even more. And so yeah, if you read JoJo, definitely give it more than just part one. Because part one could actually be, one of your least favorites, like me, or I don't know, maybe it's one of your favorites. But definitely give it a chance. These hardcovers are really nice additions, but I don't think that these English releases are actually the best way to read JoJo, because the mangaka really loves Western music and names a lot of his characters after Western bands and stuff, which for copyright reasons they kind of alter the names for the English releases, which, ask any JoJo fan, they'll tell you how much that sucks. So the best way to read JoJo is actually online, and if you go on Facebook and look up JoJo's Colored Adventure, these fans have translated the full color version of JoJo, and you can either download the chapters or read them online, and it's the best way to read JoJo. I highly recommend doing that. But I buy these volumes anyways because I want to support JoJo and, just continue it. But yeah, just really good. You'll either love this like me or it's just not for you. But give it a chance. Alright, at number 2 we have One Piece, which, as you can tell from my lists, I don't have too many shonens. I'm more of a seinen kind of person, but One Piece kind of transcends all shonens for me. It's such an epic manga. If there's any manga that deserves the name epic, it's this one, because it is one. Like, the lore and the story is so grand. I mean, this manga is like at 90 volumes now, which sounds intimidating, but trust me, it's worth checking out. They released the manga in box sets where you can get like 20 volumes in a box. Or more. I think they're all a little different, but yeah, I'm sure you've heard of One Piece. It's the most successful manga of all time, and the third most successful comic of all time. The only comics that are more successful are Superman and Batman, and the only reason they're more successful is because they've been around since for over 50 years. Well, actually a lot longer than that, but in sales, the One Piece still tops the chart every year for comics around the world. So yeah, it's worth checking out, definitely. It's just about a pirate crew going around and racing other pirates around the world to get this treasure called the One Piece, and basically becoming the pirate king. And all the pirates have all these really unique abilities, and it's really interesting and a lot of fun. I've been reading it since I was in junior high, and my love for it hasn't gone away. At one point I was more obsessed with Naruto than One Piece, but my love for Naruto kind of went away over the years, but this one just held on firmly, and it just hasn't gone away, and I still read it. So yeah, One Piece, definitely check it out. There's a reason why it's the biggest manga in the world. And finally, at number 1, my favorite ongoing manga, and my second favorite manga in general, and that is Berserk. And the only reason it's not number 1 is because it's not finished yet. And, the story could have a very unsatisfying ending, but if the manga does have a satisfying ending, then it'll definitely take the #1 spot because I love it so much. It's a medieval fantasy type manga, kind of like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. But it's basically about a warrior, a swordsman named Guts that goes around and hunts demons, and that's the basic premise. I really don't want to talk about more than that because I don't want to spoil anything. But it's so damn good. Do not watch the anime. The anime adaptation is terrible. The animation is garbage. The best way to experience Berserk is definitely reading it. The artwork is amazing. There's a lot of story arcs that get left out of the anime, which really sucks. And recently, Dark Horse has been releasing these 3-in-1 editions. These are hardcover, but they have like this leathery feel to them. The page quality is really good. Yeah, definitely pick these up. It's the best way to read it in my opinion. But yeah, there's not really much more to say. Just you definitely need to read Berserk. Even if you aren't a manga fan, if you just like American comics, or if you're just not big on comics in general, I think everyone should check out Berserk. It's an amazing story. And yeah, that's it. So those are my favorite ongoing mangas right now, and this list could change. You know, every few months there are mangas where I don't like it as much, and then they get bumped off the list, and then there's others that I grow to love even more, and they make it onto the list. So who knows? Next time I make this video, the list can be very different. But yeah, that's it for now. I know I haven't really made videos for a few years now, and decided to just make these videos because I wanted to update my opinions on manga I really like. I don't know if I'm gonna make any more manga haul videos. I might. We'll see. I don't know if you guys really want me to. I know some of you have asked if I would make them again. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I will. But until then, thanks for watching.